welcome to another episode of Superfan Chats, the show where we generally just talk about all the Superfan stuff regarding no small roles. And this time we're having a very chilled time. We're very much relying on the side quests of No Small Roles, as we're looking from episodes 44 to 47. If you haven't listened to those yet, please do listen to them before you listen to this, because spoilers, and we don't like spoilers here. And oh look, the Superfans! Here I am, joined by Superfan Sam and Superfan Pippa. Hello there, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hello, hey. And thank you to you, Lord Crumpet. That was a good command.
Thank you. It is I, the Lord Crumpet, returned once again with my crumpety goodness.
We're here to support you. Oh, you said about it being kind of a nice, relaxing one. It was a nice return to silliness. It's been very serious for a long time, and it was kind of nice to hear everyone playing around and being walruses and eating sausages. It was great.
Oh, honest, I think we just needed it. I think our last Superfan chat was so, questioning the characters' motivations. Do we trust characters anymore? Yeah. What's going to happen now? That it's just nice to be like, okay, so how did they do eating those sausages? So who threw up first? What does that mean for the team? That's just great. I'm here for this.
I know, I can't wait to cover that one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, Inky, do you think he's evil? Kind of floating about in these, but it was lesser so. The last one was so, is Enkidu now a complete machine? And how do we feel about this in the grander journey and kings and 50,000 golems as well?
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to shrug that off a little bit. But I'm sure David has plans in the works.
David always has plans.
Sausage takeover.
He always does, and he's just very sneaky. So I'm not ready for this, because I know he's going to lure us in. Mm-hmm. He's going to lure us in with all this lovely, oh look, the Twain Tide tournament, oh it's so innocent, and then something's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to be there first, sorry, no, you can't do this to me.
Lull us into a false sense of security. What is it? What's the phrase? Calm before the storm. Jesus.
The calm before the storm.
Wow,
there we go.
The card before the storm. Getting confused by Vicky's tarot cards.
Could be a card, you never know.
Shall I kick us off, guys?
Yeah, go for it. Go on then.
Off you go, Pippa.
So, episode 44, yes. This is a really nice, calm episode where the party have waved goodbye to Myra and Ferrocene, and we had that lovely touching scene in the previous episode with the invisible hug.
Oh.
Yeah, it was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was so touching.
It's an episode of messages, to be honest. It's an episode of messages and preparing for the road ahead. So there are messages going back and forth between Juna and Heron Ilwyn.
Yeah.
Which, very funny, just trying to cram enough words into the word limit.
Yeah.
And love from Juna. That was a good moment.
I love the whole idea of they mentioned it being done on a Nokia 3310.
Yeah, exactly.
Of sending. Yeah. I love that reference.
Proper brick phone.
Pressing multiple buttons to get the right letter.
Because we all had one, didn't we? We all had one.
Everybody had a Nokia.
Yeah.
The indestructible. I think I still got one.
There's also the message from Gwen to her father using Oren's notebook, which we found out a few sort of nice little details about her family. And we also found out that her nickname from her family to her was Deli, which is really sweet.
Deli.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Deli. And she knows how to write small, or it's a really big notebook. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That was a long message.
Very tiny handwriting.
It's just like an A3 notebook.
Yeah, you know when you're double, putting two lines in the space of one line. I think it's very much that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. We've got Oren and Enkidu having a little nosy around the workshop again and using the silver sheets to make a slightly dodgy shield.
Yeah.
We've got the wing thruple back together having a little snuggle on the sofa overnight.
Oh, I forgot
We've got... It was really cute. Such a cute moment.
Yeah, I forgot too. Oh.
And Oren very definitely not snuggling up with the wing thruple and finding a different corner to bed down in.
Well, he had all his schematics and everything, didn't he? He's got a dark vision visor or something.
Oh yeah, dark vision visor. Yeah, plans for a dark vision visor. This is going to be cool.
Very handy.
And they all have their long rest. Enkidu keeping watch on the rooftops. And as he awakes and the sun rises, we see this very menacing row of golems in the tree line. And it's quite cool when he tries to speak to them. He kind of sort of makes a connection, but Erida kind of steps in and interrupts him.
Yeah, she very quickly stops that.
Yeah, definitely. It's made very clear that he needs to head south straight away. And then on their way out, they talk about thinking about some group names, and Orin comes up with the name the Fate Marked Five, and they have a little chat about discussing what their cover's going to be going forwards, being tourists, rambling tourists. And that's kind of the crux of the episode. So it's kind of mostly about, these messages, planning, and the menacing golems that obviously they've not really left them behind just yet.
Yeah, but it's kind of suggested that ability is there, right? That he could potentially reach out and communicate with them, potentially control them. It's just kind of if he's on board with Erida's plans.
Yeah, perhaps as he gets more powerful.
That would be a great plot twist. Just at the end, they all kill Erida and he just takes over the golem army. Like,
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm Erida now.
I mean, it slightly worries me because we talked last time about how, it was my little theory that as they get closer and closer to the throne, is he going to become less and less of himself?
Yeah.
You wonder, is there going to be a threshold he crosses where he's sort of proven himself that he is going to kind of carry out that prime directive, and he'll then be given access to those golems maybe in the future.
that's a very good point.
I mean, does it unnerve you that he already refers to it as the prime directive as well? That's how he first spoke about it to Erida. It's like, I will achieve the prime directive. It's a little unnerving.
I don't like it. It was the only part, I think, of these last few episodes that you actually were like, oh, God, there's still that sort of sense that something...
Yeah,
like
don't
it
forget
is like
about
them
us.
just
Yeah.
hiding in the forest. Yeah, like they're just stood in the corner, like everywhere they go, just in the corner, like watching them. Like something from a horror film, do you know what I mean?
It kind of reminded me of the Dwayne Fabulosa and his pursuer. Like, I can't... the Revenant.
Yes.
That kind of aspect. Except, if anything, this is scarier than a Revenant because you know that there's 50,000 brothers behind them.
Yes.
There's not just the one.
And they can literally, like, Google Maps wherever Enkidu is at any point in time.
Just find his GPS.
Yeah,
there he is.
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Find my Enkidu
Track
setting.
my
Yeah.
phone. Yeah, find my Enkidu app.
I love it.
They've just got all the Wingthrops spread around. They're like, oh, who are we looking for today? Just scrolling through. Like,
Ooh, what's Enkidu doing? Ooh.
oh, we checked in at Sticky Sausage. Wow.
He's in the sticky sausage. Oh, that sounds fun.
This is the Facebook location thing, isn't it? Oh, checked in, Sticky Sausage. All right. Oh, have a nice time.
I'll check the TripAdvisor for that one.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
My favourite revelation in this episode, though, was the whole Vicky finding out that Jenny's not a gnome.
Yes.
Oh,
That was big. I've just been going along this whole track this whole time. Would we not have had as much of Jenny then if Vicky hadn't thought she was a gnome? Because every time she saw us, go chat to her or flower check her.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's probably half the reason why she spoke to us so much.
Yeah.
But she never mentioned it in previous episodes. Like, I thought, oh, maybe if I, listen back. But she never actually said, oh, it's good to talk to a fellow gnome or it's good to talk to a da-da-da-da-da. So she never brings it up.
Yeah.
So you just assume that Juna just loves Jenny.
Yeah.
Just because she likes chatting.
Because
And I
it's
mean,
just a
that
chat,
is still very Juna.
And I mean, we love Jenny because of it, right? We kind of learned to love the whole
course.
going back to her and just hearing the town's gossip.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea that maybe wouldn't have been as much of a thing if Vicky hadn't been fully seeking out this character.
Aw, it's so sad.
I love these kind of out of character moments that happen just every so often. I love the fact that they keep them in and we get to hear the thought process behind it, because it would be quite easy to go, right, well, it's not actually relevant to this and blah blah blah, but it's lovely that we keep those humorous misunderstandings in.
Yeah.
I think that one's up there for me and Chris's I've got 1,000 gold.
Oh, good moments.
Gold is very hard to track in D&D games. It's like the last thing you think of.
Particularly when you're playing with Chris. I mean, Jesus. I know it's coming up in a couple of episodes' time, but or maybe even next episode. The 250 gold that he gets, and he still does not want to let the party know that he's got it. It's
Nope.
like a real begrudging, some mysterious benefactor just gave me 250 gold pieces. And they're like, we know that's bullshit, but
we have to play along.
yeah. Oh, God.
His charisma checks are just too high for them to be like, right, I'm calling you out on this.
Yeah.
So they just have to be like, yeah, okay, sure. Just move on.
For all they know, maybe he does have 1,000 gold. He might be lying to us. We might not know everything about Gaius. I mean, we don't know everything about Gaius. We know so little about Gaius.
Turns out his mask is like laden with gold, like just laced into it, and it's worth 1,000. So if he sells it, he's just, that's it. That's his fortune right there and then.
Yep.
Yeah, the underside of this is just diamond.
Yeah.
All of the inside.
Yeah, exactly. Just encrusted
His
underneath.
purple eye
Like,
is like a diamond and an amethyst inside it.
that would actually be pretty cool. He just like pulls out an eye, like, I'm going to sell it for the team. Everyone's like, ew, put it back.
Oh, man.
Keep your diamonds.
Yeah.
But yeah, this whole gnome obsession, I mean, David might as well just make the big bad of the campaign a gnome, and then Vicky's, or Juna will inevitably lead them to it, because they found out about that other gnome. I wrote the name down, I might have got it wrong. Kieda Tagadon?
Kieda Tagadon is what I've got written down.
Kieda.
Yep.
But yeah, again, they mentioned that this guy's a gnome, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, yeah, we definitely have to go see this guy.
Yeah.
Could be evil.
Could be.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
We're still talking about how much we trust Heron Ilwyn, so...
Yeah, which is,
very
we
true.
know probably less about Heron Ilwyn than we know about Gaius, which is troubling.
Yeah.
We're just generally quite untrustworthy people when it comes to this podcast. Like, I don't trust you.
I think
Could
an
be bad.
experience with Erida would probably do that.
Yeah, that's very fair. We're traumatised. That's what it is.
Yeah. Which is why we need this grace period.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, Grace, as Gwen, kind of started this rebirth with this new campaign by literally changing her whole outfit.
Yes.
She's gone for that kind of like lumberjack vibe, which I really love, and I kind of want to see some fan art of. If I don't have time to do it myself, but kind of starting that transition from Gwendolyn Rose to Carhilda, which she eventually becomes.
Carhilda, yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to talk about the next episode, which was episode 45.
Oh, look, the town.
Aptly named. Oh, look, the town. I'm so glad that he actually did that in the end. I know they talked about it, but it's so easy to forget those things when you're editing them week after week. Okay, noticeable moments that I found in this one. I mean, we gotta love David's ad-libbing at the beginning when he came up with the postcard salesman. It was just like the wonderful painted ones, and like they're a copper each, but one still gets stolen because people don't have money at the moment. But I love that little, just kind of like I've just imagined them. Yeah, they're down by the water. Yeah, there's a dragon in this.
And Chris's utter delight at it as well. Chris was so happy.
So, can you
it's
trade my 1 gold for 1 copper? It's counting out all these copper pieces. Yes, the main crux of this episode, though, let's be honest, is about the tavern, which was delightfully brought up that it was Patreon supported content. We all voted on this. I voted for Cocky, I think. But it came out Sticky Sausage and the Amazing Sausage Eating Contest.
Oh, this was so much fun.
I mean, there was some other stuff. There was like the selling of the gold sheets. There was the introduction to the Twain Tide Tea tournament, which I definitely want to chat about.
Yes.
And there was, of course, this wanted poster for Gwendolyn. Colin DeBarge has clearly not given up interest yet, and he's actively looking for her. So it's kind of good that she's started this transition to Carhilda and like. Yeah. The coming up with the name things like, I could be Dawn Thorn or Jenny Flower, and then eventually landing on, why don't I call myself my actual name? Which I thought was kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
That was nice, yeah.
But yes, I want to talk about sausages and the fact that this group are now, like, they've got over this whole golem thing, and now it's all just about what can I stomach? Yeah. It was delightful. I really, really, really enjoyed this episode.
I was so rooting for them to win as well. I was so rooting for
they were so
it. I was like, come on! Because they were so close, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Those were some nasty sausages.
I did think there was a chance. There was a bit of a chance. They
There was a real chance.
They all went in individually. And I remember Ben actually saying this jumped out at me on the second listen, is that he says that his flash of genius can be applied to somebody else. So if he'd done it on
That's
like
true.
Enkidu or on Juna, they might have beaten it. But I mean, it's hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus, at the time, I suppose it makes sense for all the characters to just focus on themselves.
Yeah.
Because they've all entered in individually. Like, it's different, obviously, we'll discuss later, but it's different with the Twain Tide tournament, where it's just like, everyone have a go. Mm-hmm. Whereas with this one, it's like, we've paid money to do this. We need to focus on, like, getting through ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really thought Enkidu would just boss it because he doesn't, like, have hunger. I just thought he'd just, like, not have any taste buds and would just be like, lop, thump, thump. And then everyone would be like looking at him like, what on earth, he's a machine? And he's like, yes, no, and just keeps eating them.
Ironically, if he'd have been given not such a kind of state-of-the-art body by the Wingthraps, he probably wouldn't have had taste buds in quite the same way.
Yeah.
It's because he's been given such a realistic state-of-the-art body that everything works as perfectly as a real body, has actually worked to his detriment maybe in this particular tournament.
That's actually a very good point.
Which, yeah, we're starting to learn. He's got abilities, but they're like, it's not that he can't do what humans do. It's just that he hasn't really got the desire to do those things now, or the need for it. It's just, whether he kind of feels like it, but he's still got taste buds and stuff. But yeah, he rolled a 22 for that check, for that constitution save. In the final round, he rolled a 22, which means that somebody on this table was 24
exactly.
above
Yeah,
kind of
higher
thing.
than that.
To swallow 2 sausages, that must have been an actual 20. I can't see it being any other way. But yeah, we were introduced to people in this episode that didn't really have much of a part to play. We kind of met Cade a little bit more at the end, because he was the one with the gruff voice that
You'll have to do
explained
an
about
impression.
the Twain Tide Tea tournament. It was great.
Yeah. It's like very serious.
Yeah, but we kind of met Rosie, who may turn up in the tournament later. This was the dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all going to come back.
And yeah, we met Cade, and there was another one, the one with the decorative sword, the half-orc.
Ferian,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that if they're continuing with the Twain Tide tournament religiously, that we're going to meet these characters doing things later on.
They're going to bump into them again, aren't they?
Yeah, they were kind of like craftily introduced.
Yeah,
definitely. And then like pushed to one side.
Dude's got that sword for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't wait to see the other sort of people they tend to meet along the way for this tournament, because you've got to be a specific kind of adventurer if you're like, yes, I want to collect spoons and win stuff to do with tea. Like, yes, absolutely. I'm so here for it.
I mean, can you imagine if they were like, nah, we got a pressing engagement, we got to do all of this. And I don't know whether it's like just the vibe of this particular episode doing a competition made them think like, no, actually we need a little bit more of this in the podcast. Like the whole idea of going out and collecting spoons.
Even then, like, could you imagine David's put all this effort in and then they just like, nah.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do this. No, thanks.
Nah,
designing the poster and just going, nah, we're fine. We don't want to do
Golem's
this.
following us.
Yeah.
Do we really have time to go get some spoons?
I think he'd actually cry.
Pokemon-inspired thing. So good.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so here for the names of these sausages as well.
Yeah. What? We got the King's Mustard Bangers.
Yep.
Which were like the really
that
difficult
actually
ones to
made
eat right
me
at the start.
physically gag because I hate mustard. I hate mustard so much. I was listening to it and I went, what? So bad. I was like, well, I've failed. First round, I'm done.
Well, a lot of people did. Didn't half the bar go on the first sausage? Like those two that
would've been
introduced, Cade and Ferian, they were like, nah,
they were like,
done.
nah, we're out.
Oh, God. Rosie was taken down by the Crocat Shroom Dogs.
Yeah.
Yes,
such a great name.
the Shroom Dogs.
And then the final one, which obviously got Ben, was the Shrouded Pepper Pork.
I love it.
Pepper pork.
So good. So good.
Good names. But it's funny because they actually sell Shroom Dogs. That's the veggie alternative that you can get. So I was just like looking in my fridge like, oh my God. No,
they're too spicy.
Just get some really sour sauce to put on the top of them.
David must have had a lot of fun coming up with those, the names of the sausages, and just, I love it when that kind of thing happens, when you like change a band name to a fantasy band name.
Yeah.
Love those, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yes, they are now on the competition road. 50 gold pieces to enter, and then 500 for a win of this tournament.
Yeah.
which Guy just happened to find.
Yes, I know. Comes up with that out of nowhere. Could have used those gold sheets for crafting.
I just got given this money, honestly.
Although, when they first mentioned it, and he was like, oh yeah, 250, I was thinking he meant 2 gold 50, which for the longest time I was thinking it's like 250. They're haggling for like a 20th of a gold piece. I was slow there.
I'm quite interested about his sword as well, his Dravanian commander's sword, where he got that from. And he's not willing to part with it for 100 gold.
Pieces. Yeah. Even though he can't use it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, I was going to say, he steals stuff everywhere. I'm like, when the gold sheets, like you said, came back up, I was just like, of course, like, I knew this would just be like, something to sell, something to get rid of, just like, any opportunity to steal something, he will do it. He's a bit of a kleptomaniac in that sense.
Yeah.
Like,
And then not tell anyone about it.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's like he knows the shame of it, but he does it anyway because it's in his nature. This is Chris just absolutely playing what's on his page down to a T and just sticking to it all times.
Yep.
But it does get really frustrating when they're like, oh man, we need we've only got 12 gold or whatever, and we need to go get more money for this. And he's sitting there with 250 gold at this point, and just like, oh man, I think he says he's got like 14 goals. Oh, it's not enough. We're going to go and do stuff.
Got to go again.
Everyone outside of it's just like laughing because they know, but they like in game they have no
But they're
idea,
playing
so
those
they can't
characters
comment.
so well. Oh god.
Yeah, hilarious.
But yeah, that kind of encapsulates this episode. But yeah, kind of rounding it off with this whole idea, the Colin DeBarge is definitely still out there, which we hear a bit more about as we go forward. So I'm hoping maybe we'll turn up somewhere in this arc. Would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, him combined with the characters that we heard more about in Gwen's letter with Laurel and her brother and sister.
Yeah.
It was, like, I'm really looking forward to having more of sort of Gwen's like extended family and her friends and Colin DeBarge, like how they're going to fit into story, because you know they're coming at some point in the future.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see how that all happens and how that all comes together.
We know a bit more about Gwen's family now as well, don't we? We've had other names. There's
we know,
Prim, Dorian. Kasula is the trainer, I think, the one that taught her in the way of decorum.
Yeah, that's like her stepmother, I think.
Yeah, the stepmom, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also the name Laurel as well, was a new name,
Laurel.
which we haven't heard much about.
I think is that the first time that's come up? Or?
If it isn't, it's the first time it's mentioned in any detail. I think it is. But I might be wrong.
But probably in passing, I was going to say.
Yeah, maybe.
We're just going to have to put it in the notes for the next Superfan chat, so we'll talk about it then.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to listen back to episodes 1 to 43, listening for the word Laurel.
Everyone, that's your mission. If you're listening to this now,
Exactly.
I want you to hunt it down for Lord Crumpet, please. Thank you.
Oh, God.
So, on to the next episode, episode 46, Roadside Experiments.
Dun, dun, dun.
This episode, they're catching up on 4 days' worth on the roads. There are more messages sent.
Yeah, it's Message Fest.
Yeah, Message Fest. Exactly.
Message Fest.
It's basically Message Fest, Gaius pissing off Enkidu, Juno becoming a walrus, a battery exploding and injuring Orin, more messages, and some tattoos at the end of it. They're kind of the crux of these things.
Yeah.
So, and our little cameo from Dwayne.
Oh my God, I was
the
so
little
glad
Dwayne
they did that.
cameo.
Which was fantastic. I was so excited.
The ting at the end of
Jeremy.
it. The ding of the tea.
And it was so well set up as well. It was so well set up with sort of
I'm
Gwen
so glad
going,
they did it.
so I'd like to send this message. Here it is, blah, blah, blah. And then David just going, so I've got something to play you all.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so well set up.
He did it a couple of times, didn't he? Because it was almost preempting what Juno was going to say to Gwendolyn's dad, to Papa Rose.
Yes.
And for him to have a response. And like I say, it was kind of nice to get a feel of what this guy's like.
Yeah.
And him calling her Deli as well, like real kind of family vibes.
Yeah, that was nice and reassuring, wasn't it? That it didn't come back and he was like super cross with her or anything like that. It was quite like, oh, nice family.
It was a good day for messages in Gwen's direction. Sorry, Carhilda's direction.
Carhilda's direction.
Carhilda.
You missed an absolutely major point, which we have to come to, which is that we have found the birth of Abracalads.
Yes.
Abracalads.
Oh God! The thing is, I've been waiting for this to happen since the picnic. They talked about this, and we took the photo, which obviously came out at the right point after the episode came out. But I've been wondering for so long what this is in reference
When's
to.
it coming?
And it's
When's
just
it
basically
coming?
them ribbing on Ben, and I love it.
Yeah. I want a T-shirt with the quote, "Don't make me make it a 34."
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, those are my favourite moments. Was delightful Jeremy Cobb, Juno the Walrus, and Abracalads are literally my 3 little bullet points that I've written at the bottom of my page.
So good.
And just of all the creatures she could have been, why walrus? Walrus?
Blame Chris.
Well, yeah, because
You know what I mean? Like,
Gaius shouted out and then was like, "I've never seen a walrus before."
yeah, and she was like, "Well, here it is." And then she just looked like a sad walrus as well, just
This
like
walrus,
sat with like the tusks down, like meh.
Yeah.
In the image of Colin DeBarge as walrus.
Yeah, with his whiskers.
Mate, it was just a little bit silly that we needed, especially with the battery stuff, because that was all a bit like, will it work? Will it actually release an element? Because I again, cynical me, I was like, nothing's going to happen, because it is, at this point, I was like, with the sort of trials in the sort of...
Yeah, they've already been converted.
I want to call it an escape room, but it's not an escape room. But it looks like an escape room. It was that's all I can think of right now. But in that room where they obviously converted all the animals, it was like once they're converted, that is it. I was very doubtful of anything good to come of it. But at least they don't have it on their person now, so it's not as volatile.
Yes, and it could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah,
this is the main thing, and the reason why they haven't released that flame one yet. But,
oh god,
because that leads on to the wands, right? We've got
we've got all the experiments with the wands as well. Yeah,
which is very handy.
And finding out that they can use those abilities, and there was a bit of me that kind of wanted them to tap into that a little bit more and see, like Juna was suggesting, how low can you go?
Yeah,
because I wonder. Enkidu obviously he hits it always at his maximum. Being a warlock, it's always his maximum level spell. I do wonder if he was able to do that sigil and cast it as level 1, because I think they're all level 1 spells.
Yeah.
Or level 1 or level 2. You got Mage Armor, Absorb Elements, and Lesser Restoration.
That's right.
Might be a second level.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if they cast that spell at the level in question, whether they can still cast that thing. Because otherwise, it might end up a bit costly. If they're like, I really want Mage Armor, but it takes me a 3rd level spell to be able to cast the first
is it really worth it?
Defensive thing. Yeah. Still cool that they've worked out that they can do that, though, with Enkidu's sympathy magic with Erida.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm surprised it's not restricted to higher ranking family members.
Yay,
I knew they were going to get that in there somewhere.
Honestly, it did feel like that. Like, he tries to help them and he just goes, oh, sorry, you're not high-ranking family members, guys. Can't help you out this time. No, it was useful as well, because I'd spent so many episodes being like, when are they going to use them? When are they going to find out what it does? Or I just thought they were going to sell them. Like, I just thought they'd be sold on as like a commodity and just kind of gain them a bit of cash.
Gaius had his way, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm impressed that they actually we can use these now. Like you said, obviously, maybe in like dire circumstances though, because it costs so much magical kind of energy. But they're there if they need them, or if they need to give it to someone else who knows how to use it.
They're good bartering. If they almost sink someone's boat again, then they're good items to barter with. Sorry, Halling.
Here you go. Here's a fire battery.
Look, I've got a magic wand.
Yeah.
This will fix your boat, I swear. It's a boat-fixing wand, I promise.
There are a couple more interesting messages to talk about as well. We had the message from Juna to Ginger, which was quite sweet. I'm going to look forward to meeting Ginger at some point. She sounds like she's going to be a real character. Golems sound fun.
Do you not get a bit of I don't know why, I get a bit of a creepy vibe from Ginger.
Ooh. Really?
And I don't know if this is because I know what David's like as a DM, that anything that seems too good to be true is often like tinged a little bit with darkness. And
Do not trust.
I don't know. What if Ginger is some kind of Palpatine character? I've got like, maybe like my Lord Crumpet, I'm a bit too skeptical about these things, but she seems almost too wholesome. And like Juna's got all these tattoos, and like she puts the wording from Ginger on there. How brainwashed is Juna? Like, what's happened between her and Ginger? Is Ginger a force
That was a little bit odd, her immediately tattooing what she said. But then again, you're talking to someone who, like, if they wanted a tattoo, they'd be like, I'm going to spend years trying to figure out what I want. But I think Ginger is just like unhinged. I think that Ginger's a bit nutty, but it's kind of like that. I'm gonna reference Avatar. It's like King Boomy in Avatar, where he's nuts, and the methods he uses are ridiculous, because he's like, essentially puts his best mate through like a trial, but is actually a good guy, just a bit nuts. And I think that's Ginger. I think Ginger is gonna do things that are questionable, but inevitably they are on the side of Juna. It's like all for the greater good kind of stuff. Yeah. That's my opinion.
If Juna's King Boomy, who is Ginger to her then?
So no, Ginger's King Boomy.
Oh, okay, right.
So Ginger's King Boomy, and then Juna is Aang.
Oh my god, I really hope she has like rock spells. That would be amazing if it's like
that'd be amazing.
Rock in nature. But
David, make it canon. David, if you're listening, make it canon, please.
Oh my god, she's an earthbender. Is that a thing in this world?
That could be a thing.
We heard a little bit from Enkidu about people he knows as well. Scarpus, who again, another elderly kind woman by the sound of it, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, probably also
and
evil.
Telling the story of, probably. No, please no.
Everybody's evil.
Everyone is, in my mind, I'm too down the Erida timeline and crowd.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be evil somehow.
Yeah.
What are they hiding?
Everybody's out to get something.
What's she doing with these stories?
There was one interesting sentence which I've written down just because I don't fully understand it yet, which was when Enkidu was talking about how Scarpus used to take in the orphan children. He said about his friend Light, and he said, before Light could communicate verbally, whenever they had a bad day or would go missing, I usually found them back at Scarpus's place. I find it quite interesting that Light was a perhaps non-verbal...
Like choosing to be a mute, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to know a lot more about them as a character and their background and things.
Was it with Scarpus that most of them met then? Because we know how they met Hina, I think it is, the tiefling.
Yeah.
And we obviously know how they met Alcibiades.
Sure.
But yeah, do we know like how far back? Obviously,
I don't
Gilgamesh
think so.
introduced Enkidu and gave him his name as well.
No, and
which was
I
a
might
nice
be
kinda-
completely wrong, but whenever Light has come out from an inside check, David's always been like, yeah, they don't say anything, but they just smile at you. And it's been quite interesting. There's been no verbal communication between them, which... yeah, it makes me want to know more about why that is.
But they are the healing type, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway.
Very interesting. Do you reckon we're going to meet Scarpus further down the line?
There's a potential. The name's out there now.
I'm hoping that David keeps all these threads open. Yeah.
We've got loads of things to explore, though. We've got, like, all the stuff back from when they're in the Codex, all of those kind of names that came up. We've got, like, obviously things from Enkidu's past, Gwen's family as well.
Yeah.
Like, we have
There's a lot of
many
avenues
potential paths. Yeah.
The thing is, they've got the tea tournament now as well to kind of move them rapidly on from place to place.
Yeah.
So they've always got like an agenda of, okay, we want to move on to the next place as quickly as possible. But it's close enough to all these different places around Dravane that they can kind
Still
of
drop in.
just have a day's adventure.
Yeah.
Go back to Rostall and find out what the hell's going on there.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I would avoid.
Yeah, avoid.
Leave that behind. Thank you. That was a messy, messy time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, we now know the name of... I don't think we heard this before, but the name of Gaius' mum.
Oh, yeah, we
is Arya.
did.
'Cause
Arya,
we got a bit of
Yes.
bit of Hamlet at the end of the episode there.
Yeah, that was lovely, wasn't it?
Really glad he went with that quote. It was gorgeous.
Gaius being truthful. Oh my gosh.
You would hope he's being truthful if he's actually tattooed it on himself.
Yeah.
That's pretty permanent.
No, could you imagine? He's got it tattooed. He's like, yeah, I
God.
lied. You're like, that is on your body
Yeah, that's
forever
the
now,
ultimate
sir.
double cross.
It's kind of the name as well as like Arya. Is that her name? Arya.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
You are, honestly, it would be the ultimate con artist move, though.
That would be
Have a
great.
fake name tattooed onto your body. So it's like, how can you question me? It's on here. It's on my skin. Why would you question me? Like, that was
He's
my
so
attempt at a
deep
guy's
into the
voice.
lie at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, this shit is permanent?
Yeah, he thinks it's a temporary tattoo that you could just like rub off with a bit of soap.
Yeah.
And then he's like, wait, hold on. Shit, it's on my skin forever.
I wish I'd chosen red.
Yeah.
But the tattoos continue into the next episode, I believe.
Yeah.
We get one from Gwen. And Oren looks at his own tattoo in that episode as well, just like...
Yes, and says, no, I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah, because I forget that he's got a tattoo all off his arm.
He kind of mentions it, but never really blooms into anything. Like, we still know so little about Oren.
Don't know much about it, no.
All of these guys gave backstories in the last one. We heard about, like, Enkidu's past, we heard about Guy's past truthfully, and we heard about, a load from Gwendolyn and even Juno in that aspect.
Yeah.
But we didn't learn anything about Oren.
Nope.
No.
Other than he's an Abraca lad.
He's an African lad.
Given he's got his book of notes, I want him to send a message to Ellie Wick.
Oh, yeah.
That should happen.
Yeah, he's the only one that hasn't had a message
He's the only one who hasn't had a message sent a message home now. Apart from, Gaius hasn't actually as well, has he? But
Oren, phone home.
I mean, he can send his own messages.
he could send his own
He
messages.
can use the notebook if he wants to. He decided not to. What an Abraca lad.
Well, lad, I walk alone.
Don't make me send 5 messages.
Don't make me send them. Shall we move on to episode 47?
Yeah.
Tea time. We love it. So, yes, they make their way to the Knotted Strings Tavern in Medravane. Obviously getting that nice little, again, another little reminder of Erida and sort of the statue being put up outside.
Yeah.
We're like, great, good. Just constant reminders that is still a thing. As much as we're like, haha, funny silly adventures. Still like, yes, here's the big bad, I suppose,
Just always
lurking in
those
the
imposing
corner.
ones. Yeah, it's Statue of
Yeah.
Erida, Statue of Crowl.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, come on.
Yeah, are they going to get this in every town? Or are they just going to fight a bad guy and then the next town just has an effigy of that big bad? I mean, there could be the mirrored folk.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? There could be one of those in every single
They're
one.
just like, oh, the Erida Festival. Yes,
Yeah.
welcome. And they're like, oh, for God's sake.
You go round the back and there's like a little carving of do not trust. And it's like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Got it. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But it was good because they kind of finally made it to the town and they sort of started to sign up. And from then on, it just got silly. Like, everything was just kind of very trivial and light. Like, even the little things, like them picking up their stamps when they were signing up.
Yeah.
Things like that. And
The lying to the queue that their security guards go home. Yeah.
Yes.
oh, that was incredible.
It was a very good lie.
It was.
It was a good
It
start.
worked for about 10 seconds.
Yeah. You know, any less competition is still less competition, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the thing is, as well, it's the classic, like, Gaius thing of starting a plan, but not quite realising the consequences.
Yeah.
And so it was like, just go inside for a drink. And it's like, wait, but they'll meet the real...
They'll see that
was
it's
it
a pond.
Lucinda? Yeah, they'll see the real one. Like, there's no point doing that. But they tried. But it was nice to see them kind of pick out their stamps and kind of pick stuff that was very individual to them. Like, I think Oren had the keys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gwen had the wolf as well.
Yeah, that was a cool
It was
choice.
nice. It was just like a little hint to their personality.
And Juna being able to change hers as well to the... Yeah, because the seven...
Yeah, it was from an owl to
seven-petaled
the flower.
was there, yeah.
Fate.
I mean, this is in the Twine-Tie Tea Tournament stamps. That's quite...
Yeah.
Is that not quite significant? I don't know.
Maybe.
You never know. Maybe it means that she was always meant to do the tournament.
This was their fate. The fate marked
Yeah.
5, and there's 5 people that can enter the tournament.
Her destiny. Yeah.
That's actually a very good point. I can't believe that. There's like big hints to everyone.
Maybe this is how Enkidu becomes king.
Yeah.
It's 500 gold piece prize, and Enkidu becomes king.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Prime
The
directive,
two
done.
winning options of this game.
Each spoon is a bit of the crown.
Could you imagine they fashion a crown out of spoons? Oh, I love that.
That was so appropriate for this pie. Yeah.
Or a throne out of spoons.
They did stick with the name Abracalads as well, so that was
I
great.
love
And,
that
like,
they're using that.
deliberately making it cheesier with the S being a lightning or whatever, lightning Z. And then just Ben being like, no, stop.
Lads.
Yeah, Oren's not a fan, but they went along with it because it's fun and I enjoyed it. But the first trial was actually one of the most interesting because it sounded so simple and yet it was very difficult. So just the idea of like these poles in the water in the river and then having to jump across. And you'd think Gwen would ace this immediately because, you know, with the acrobatics and the slow falling, you'd think that it would just be so easy for her to do. Like, I initially, when I heard it, I was like, oh, I'm not worried. Like, she's pretty athletic and stuff. But they supported her so much.
Well, I mean, she felt confident enough to do, 2 at a time.
Yeah.
You know, so she had that confidence as well. It was only kind of when you realised, okay, they're sinking and they're jumping out of the water or wobbling and things.
Yeah.
Obviously there's going to be more of a challenge in there. But on face value, you were like, yeah, this is her thing. Mm-hmm. So lucky that she did it first time as well, though, because we had 2 other members that just disqualified themselves.
Didn't really think that through.
Yeah.
I know, a guy just jumping into the water as an otter was just a bit... What? Like...
Yeah, but I'm all for Otter Gaius staying.
Yes.
Oh, Otter Gaius was adorable.
I utterly
and a very
loved
niche
it.
reference to Otterly.
Very
Otterly
good.
love it.
I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm
love
sorry.
that.
I'll get out.
Well done. I'm proud. No, that was a good pun. I'll take it.
Nice.
No, it was just the fact that the niche as well. So the niche reference to Benedict Cumberbatch as well.
Yes.
For a second, I forgot that people say that Benedict Cumberbatch is an otter. And I thought it was a reference to this one advert that Benedict Cumberbatch had been in where he dives into the water. And I was like, oh, is it a reference to this, like, perfume advert or something? And I was like, oh, no, wait, there's this whole, like, meme of him being an otter.
Yeah.
So I actually Googled it. I was like, why am I researching this part of the episode? Because I was like, I literally typed in, it's on my search forever now, Benedict Cumberbatch diving in the water.
So for the rest of the episode, did you imagine Guy looking like a tiny Benedict Cumberbatch then?
Yes, that's what I thought in my head. Because I must have missed it the first time. I must have missed the fact he turned into an otter. And then when they said otter, I was like, what? And then went back. So I just thought he was just calling him Benedict Cumberbatch.
Amazing.
I was very confused. But it was very cute. And it was, like I said, the just general support from everyone. Whilst Enkidu and Guy, Enkidu just trying to thunderstep and then immediately falling into the water.
Yeah.
I've
was
come to
just
help
a
you,
beautiful
splash.
moment.
Splash.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then the boots from Orin.
Yeah.
And then Juna giving inspiration as well. And then having everyone fly out and kind of help her with the cutting of the rope to get the keys.
And then Gwen finding out that she's got scissors in her Thieves' Tools kit the whole time.
Thieves' tools, I know. there you go, fellow adventurers.
Yeah.
Now you
Maybe
know.
she left them in her dress or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not in her new lumberjack joppers or whatever she's wearing. What is she? Dungarees.
Just put it in a different pocket and can't remember which one. Yeah, like, wait, which pocket is it?
It's not on my tool belt.
No, it was just great, though, to kind of have that kind of just... It was a very simple challenge, but it was still, like, so much tension involved.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
The idea of, like, she might fall off, the poles could hit her, and, like, even the end, her hitting her ankle... I physically cringed.
You felt it, didn't you?
It was horrible. Like, props to Grace for her acting, because I genuinely felt like she'd snapped her ankle. And I was just sat listening to it like, But she did it. She got the key and they got the first spoon. So, you know, it's like a little achievement. Do you know what I mean? After everything they've been through and what they've lost.
Yeah. Small victories kind of thing.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of gain something.
And like you say, they did it as a party. Whether they were disqualified or not, they all tried to do things together despite it being just one person running over it. And definitely picked the right person as well.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Kai Hilda absolutely aced that. But it does make me wonder, if Enkidu had been tempted to fly over, what kind of spells he would have been pelted with. Because they said you can affect them with magic. I kind of wonder what David had in store there. Guess we'll never know.
Well, even if it was just like, because obviously Orin used Dispel Magic on the poles.
Yeah, he did.
What if they just dispelled magic
then just
on
dispel
him?
magic
They
on
just
him.
pointed at him and went, magic be gone, and he just dropped. I mean, that would have been funny enough, do you know what I mean? But the thunder step was a great moment. Just the idea of him bursting out of a cloud of thunder and then just sploosh
Oh, God.
straight into the water.
We've all seen that mental image. We've watched enough Wipeout.
Yeah, exactly. It was the most human we've seen Enkidu in a while as well, which is nice. It was like, there he is, there's the boy.
Backtracking a little bit to the knotted strings, because there was a little bit of like chat while they were looking at the pub about the cycle of strings, which is more, to do with the Shrouded Lady that's been dropped.
Yes.
It did kind of make me think that maybe way back, the phylactery back in Tillisham, there was a moment when Orin was walking through the day that wasn't. He was walking through tomorrow. And the Shrouded Lady reacted to him on the statue of the Shrouded Lady. I remember there was something
in the churchyard.
mournful about her. Yeah. And it's this whole idea that in the people that believe in the Shrouded Lady and follow her and the cycle of strings, that they live these like alternate timelines. It's very Doctor Strange, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey and all that.
Multiverse.
But yeah, it kind of made me wonder whether, like, if the Shrouded Lady, because she's aware of these timelines, she appears to people differently throughout them. And it just got me thinking.
That's really interesting.
It was a nice little kind of, touch back to the origins by David and Ben. But obviously only Orin would really know about that. I don't know if he would have come clean about those details.
No.
And that was a very traumatic event for him, so I don't think he'd want to like relive
dwell
every
on it
single
too much,
detail and be like,
yeah.
exactly. So that is a good recall, to be fair. And it is that idea of a set path, isn't it?
It did make me wonder, just whether the phylactery table, if that, if the things that Crow was able to see in the future, because he kept going on about, like, sometimes it's different, sometimes you do this, and if you react in this way, then that means this outcome. That maybe it is that. Maybe the phylactery was a way of tapping into this,
different
the
strings,
other lives within the cycle. And so maybe things that are destined to happen, flames, floods and the dead rising, all that stuff, whether that is one of the more likely futures, but not inevitable, is kind of my hope a little bit. But we're probably going to see it.
Getting deep. I love it.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be a bit of depth even when they're having fun.
It's inevitable. And let's not all just spoons and tea, I tell you that. Not here at Superfan, chats.
Gotta remind you.
So I have a question for you guys. If you were taking part in this tournament and you got to pick your own stamp, what kind of design would you go for? Just to put you both on the spot.
You just got devious thoughts there.
What would yours be first while we think of one?
Oh, mine would be not very interesting. Like, I would either go, it depends what they are, but I would either go for something, generically music-y, probably treble clef or musical note or something. Just, because that's what I do. Or if there was like more animal-y ones, I'd maybe go for like a trotting horse or something. Partly because I thought like that would be a nice thing, like Bessie-wise. It'd be a nice kind of like homage to Bessie. I'm surprised Gaius didn't choose a horse one. That would have been quite nice.
Are we imagining that this is our like characters that we created, or if we were a character in this world, or us?
I hadn't got that far. I was just thinking if literally I was
suppose it'd just be you,
given a box and said pick a stamp. Yeah, you as you, Sam.
If it were my most played character, it would have to be a golden dragon's wing. 'Cause there's
Cool.
a lot, probably on fire, if
Wow.
they've got that in there.
Detail.
If it was me, like a Pokeball, maybe?
Gotta catch all
I
the
think
spoon.
a Pokeball badge would be quite fun. Yeah, like gotta catch a spoon. Like, but instead of like, so imagine the Pokeball and you've got like the line through it and then the circle that they click for the Pokeball to open.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it extending all the way around, it's like there's the end of the spoon and then it goes around the ball and becomes the actual
Oh,
spoon
that's really
part
clever. I
to,
like
to connect
that.
it. I think.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, let's see if they have one of those.
That's cool.
Very specific thing. Yeah, I was going to say, because for me, I'd probably just pick something like a rat.
I was going to say, I think if I had
Rats.
to, if I had to guess, yours would be
It'd be a rat, like a particularly fat one, just because mine have put on a bit of weight
floofy rat.
post-Christmas, so...
Would it be like a
fat
realistic
rat.
looking rat or a cartoony one with a really satisfied expression?
That's a good point. I don't even think I think they could have a cartoony one, but to be honest, even just a realistic one, like... I know that a lot of people think rats are pests, but I love them and they're very small and cute. So even a real one, I'd be like, yay, for me. But that's like me talking. Do you know what I mean? Well, or maybe like even like a knitting needle or like some wool or something.
Yeah, that would make quite a nice little stamp image, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Our team name would be the Crumpets, obviously. So we might have to have a separate, like, little tiny crumpet badge, which would be great because some people are terrified of them, right? There's a phobia for the little holes that you get in crumpets.
Oh, yes, of course. I thought you just meant people were scared of crumpets. And I was like,
strike
what?
fear into the hearts of everyone else, all as crumpets.
The griddle cakes.
Just someone like putting it in the toaster, like, like I genuinely thought that's what you meant. No, I like that. Like a skull and crossbones, except it's just like a crumpet and then like a knife and a fork or something behind it.
Or 2 spoons. Yeah.
Or 2 spoons.
Trumpet
Oh my
with
gosh.
9
yes.
spoons coming out of it.
And at the end of this episode, we get the teaser for, as you walk inside the tavern, you see this goblin walking in.
Yes, the
Oh,
goblin
yeah.
cliffhanger.
And that's going to be your guest player, presumably,
Yes,
for next episode.
I'm very excited.
Do we have any ideas on who it could be? It could be anyone, really. Like, because Jeremy Cobb was a surprise for me, and a delightful surprise the first time that we heard Jeremy.
We know the name of the person because Ben put it on the end of the No Small Questions that got released this morning.
I have not listened to it
As
yet.
we record this, it's Sunday the 9th of January.
No, we've not listened.
Do we want to know? No. Put it in now.
Do you know
Put
it is?
it in now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been released. So
Go on.
It's a player from Flintlocks and Fireballs. It's Robbie Bellicum, who plays Scamp.
oh my god.
Scamp.
Oh, that's brilliant. Amazing. Oh my god.
This will go out later, but this is brand new information to us. So we're super excited.
God.
And we're assuming they're going to be playing the goblin, but they might not be. That might be a red herring.
Could you imagine it's a red herring and someone else walks in?
Do you think there's going to be a link though to somebody within the party? Are we going to find that out at the beginning of the next one? Like, how are they connected
Yeah.
to all
So
of this?
many
What are they gonna
Because
do?
we've not encountered a goblin at all. I don't
No.
think like goblin, kind of kobold, kind of that level
Yeah,
of
no.
sort of creature, I suppose. Yeah, there's nothing like that. It's all the kind of like gnomes, halflings, half elf.
Oh god.
my gosh,
okay.
it's exciting.
I'm so ready for another guest player as well.
Yes, I love guest players.
Does that mean we might be able to get them in for the next No Small Questions and stuff?
Ooh, I hope so.
Baby. Just be like, hiya.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you picked that up, Pippa. That's fantastic.
Yeah, well
I haven't
done.
listened to that episode yet, so
Yeah, I know. Well, it dropped in for the Patreons. It dropped in last night on my inbox. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to scroll to the end. I need to know exactly who it is.
I love the idea that they're branching out to other podcasters within this network, and hopefully we're going to hear our guys turning up on theirs as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously we had a little bit of a brief taster of Jeremy a couple of episodes ago, but
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice
Been
to get
too
another
long,
person in
too
there.
long.
Give him another challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's all the episodes that we.
Oh my god, we're stunned into silence
I
over
know.
the new guest now. We're all just so like still processing it. So now everyone who listens to this is just going to hear us processing it.
We can look forward to talking about it next time we meet for this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's more content for us. I'm here for it.
Oh, yes. Do we have favourite moments to sign off with?
Ooh, good point.
Oh, good question.
I'm going to pick mine first today.
Go on.
Mine is just because it was so ridiculous, but I loved it so much and we haven't talked about it yet. was Chris's really stupid, ridiculous joke about the shield and the really, really long setup about whoever smelt it dealt it.
Oh my God.
That was my favourite. That's my favourite. That's what I'm going with.
Yes.
There were so many to choose from. I've got about 10 of them written down here, but that's the one I'm going to pick.
That's the best one. That's arguably the best one.
It was just silly.
Any setup for a pun, I'm here
but
for.
very funny. Yeah, exactly.
I think mine would be the names of all the sausages and just hearing their joy, all of those being called out. And then, the subsequent challenge to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a favourite moment. It's kind of the episode in general.
Yeah, but,
I just loved it.
Sausage names. They were great.
I want to eat a bit of Peppa Pig.
I just was really impressed by, I know this is like very like, maybe not favourite moment, but I was very impressed by Chris's otter impression. That was good. That was a good otter noise.
What about the otters?
I was listening, like I love an otter
It was an
video,
adorable
sure,
otter.
like anyone.
Ugh.
But it was very good. Just kind of curling around people's necks and just squeaking at everyone. I was here for that.
And Enkidu not knowing about it for so long.
Yes.
Yeah, just being like, what's this otter? And just holding it out.
My new otter friend.
Yeah.
I have enough friends in my head, thank you. Very different to our favourites from last time, though. Like Guy flipping the bird at an army of golems and stuff like that. We've all picked like quite nice, like happy moments.
We need a bit of
I
happy.
think that reflects these 4 episodes quite nicely, though, doesn't it?
Return to the joy.
We needed a bit of a light relief after everything that happened in the Wingthrup workshop.
A return to silliness.
Bit side quests, as I said.
Yeah.
Return to the side quest. Level up, get that XP, get ready for
Exactly.
the big boss.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We'll go tense again at the end of the third arc.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. Whoever stuck around this long, cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Been great.
I know, I've enjoyed this. It's nice to catch up and just fangirl about nice things for once.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should do this more often. Yeah,
Not even record it. We'll just sit here and chat. Yeah.
yeah.
Just catching up. Yeah.
Just meeting up on
chatting about
Zoom,
it.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to the next month, we'll have talked about all the interesting points. Be like, what happened again?
Yeah.
Well, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon because there's a couple of polls on there that I am very excited to see how they turn out. I don't want to spoil it because obviously, you gotta sign up, guys.
Oh, there was one just before the weekend that I was like, yes.
Yeah, I can't
Yes, I've contributed
wait.
now.
Have you done? You contributed good.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done it.
We were talking about this prior to recording. We were like, "Oh, make sure you vote on it. Like, you got to vote on it." So, yes, subscribe to the Patreon.
I saw your comment as well.
Come join
us. I hadn't actually voted for the rat one until I saw your comment. I was like, I have to do that.
Yeah, I did as well.
You've got to vote for the rats. That's all I'm saying, guys. Rats. No spoilers, but rats.
I'm not going to influence the poll at all. But
Get on the Patreon.
Well, shall we sign off in the classic anon for now fashion?
we shall.
I think we should.
Anon for now.